And hello good people of the internet, it is I, Tommy Kelly, and this is Adventures in Woo Woo. This episode I want to give another update on the whole MAP thing that I've been doing, which is the Medical Assistance Programme of the co-creative White Brotherhood. I have some previous videos over the last couple of weeks about this, starting, and I know I said there'd be an embargo on talking about my eyes since the kind of last video about my eyes. I kind of have to talk about it in regards to this MAP thing. So I said I was going to do a MAP thing, which is kind of a very woo, new age kind of idea of a healing modality where you ask your spirit helpers and this, the spirit of nature in the form of Pan and Divas and this to come in a kind of a meditative state and heal you. I did it because I was having problems with my eyes, and it was going to be a week before I got to the opticians. So I said it's a perfect time to try and try this out. In the meantime, because I'm waiting on proper medical advice, but so I'll try some of the woo. And of course, my eyesight didn't suddenly miraculously improve, but what I did kind of said in the end when one of the sessions was before I was going into the actual eye test, whatever, was that put my eyes in a situation or in the kind of state that would need to be to get the best out of the eye test, so that if it was a case that my eyesight suddenly became perfect for the eye test and I passed it, then it's not much use to me if the next day they kind of go back. So be the exact kind of state that my eyes actually are, so that when I get my eyes tested, it's a proper representation of my eye issues. And that was fine, and obviously I've got the glasses now. I find them very hard to get used to, I have to say that, which is why I'm kind of, they're reading glasses, but I'm kind of wearing them a bit more, is because of this whole lopsidedness and angles being completely wrong, which is fine if you're reading, but it's just a concern when I'm drawing, because, I want to be able to see that it is actually the way it is, rather, because what it feels like, say if I look at a tablet, say my Kindle, it looks like the top is much wider than the bottom, so that it's kind of that kind of a shape, exaggerated slightly. And same with my drawing tablet, it skews out a bit. It's very odd. And then if I move in any kind of a way, lines aren't as well. So I rang the optician, obviously, and I said, "What's the story?" He says, "It's just something you're going to have to get used to, and it should take no more than a day." But this is day 3, and I still kind of have it. Not as bad as it was. I don't have the kind of nausea thing that I was having with it. But it's I don't know. Anyway, that's me not talking about my eyes. I'll give it another couple of days, week at the most, and if it's still doing it, I'm definitely going to go back, because as great as it is to be able to see things and read in comfort, I'm not into this thing. It's an astigmata, which is not, the Padre Pio thing you get in your hands. It's that your cornea is shaped wrong, and so, but it's like, which is fine, but like, I'm only meant to be wearing these glasses as needed. So if it's trying to, because they're saying that your brain is trying to readjust to this is going to make it see what it should be seeing, whereas your brain has been doing the adjustment, which is hence the strain. But if I'm only wearing the glasses for reading, obviously every time I take them off, or when I'm not reading or working on the computer, then it's different. My brain is going back to the other way, and so when is my brain going to adjust to something that it's not a constant? Anyway, I'm sure there's a proper reason for all that. Back to MAP. So since then, the kind of MAP thing I've been finding, and I mentioned this in the previous video when I was doing the reading, is that the sessions have been getting less and less. It started off as a really very relaxing, very kind of switch off, immensely kind of, I felt like a weight was being taken off, and there was lots of stress relief and all that, just in the session, to the point that I was falling asleep in a couple of them. So now I've been finding it very hard to even get to 10 minutes doing it. And it's a lot because rather than the normal kind of meditative state where there's a sense of control over your thoughts, there isn't that kind of mindfulness involved in MAP. You're just kind of meant to stay there and just describe, in a sense, any sensations you feel in your body. Not that they don't, the spirits, the entities don't know what's going on. It's so that you're acknowledging that you know what's going on, so they can be aware of it, or something along those ways. So in a sense, what I've found was that because of that, my brain was kind of just going flying, and I started thinking about work or thinking about creativity or things I wanted to do and all of that kind of stuff. And then I get restless really, really quickly. And so it's just like I'm just sitting there going, right, I want to get back to work. I want to do this, or I'll start thinking about whatever, story or drawing or something. And it just, my mind goes way off, which from the MAP point of view is probably fine. because you don't have to be. It's not a concentration exercise. You're not doing the thing. It's the outside forces are doing the thing. But it just means that I'm finding it very hard to sit there. So one of the things I was trying to do was kind of incorporate parts of Alan Chapman's Magia Fire practice, which is it's an augmented version. This is not what it is. But one of it is just to kind of just describe what's going on, what's going around, which is kind of like a noting or the naming, for passing a type meditation. But he has more to it, where you just kind of become the fire that is creation and stuff, that is reality. And so I was just kind of trying to be adding bits of that, but also a bit like the Daniel Ingram stuff of where he talks about in different interviews, where rather than saying, oh, noise or dog or barking or, drip or wind or whatever it is, it's you just ping it, where you don't even, say the whole name, you just bang, right, happen, where that. Just acknowledge the awareness of the different sensations. So I've been doing stuff like that to try to keep my mind from just falling apart, or not falling apart, racing away. But then I suppose I'm not doing the map thing either. Like, you should be just going, I don't know, I have to do something, because if I go into my session today and it's less than what was yesterday, I'm going to be basically doing 3 minutes today, and it's 40 minutes minimum is what you're meant to be doing with the map session. I also did get one of the map audio. It's not an audiobook, it's like a lecture or a workshop or something from the website. I thought I'd get a bigger insight into it. And I've 4 out of 6 files listened to it, about an hour each, an hour and a half, something like that. And it's not really, I haven't learned anything more about what it is. Now, I probably should read the book again, but it's just, I have so many books I want to read that it's just, my time is so limited in regards to what I can read. Like, I'm still reading like the 5 books. I'm reading Pronoia. I'm reading that one about the Green Man, which is great. I'm reading Bill Drummond's 17. Started it last night. It's great. I'm reading a book that a friend of mine wrote, and I'm sure there's a number. I'm still trying to read Steve Moore's Selena book. It's just too much. So that to try and incorporate rereading a book seems like that's it's not a high priority when there's so many new books I want to read. Such a brilliant problem to have, though, that I've far too many books that I want to read. What a wonderful problem. Definitely not. I'm very grateful and appreciative of it. It's one of those good problems. But yeah, so I don't know where I'm going to go with it. I want to do it because at the initial stages were very relaxing, and I think that maybe come back over some of the key bits in the book might be a thing, or might look to see if someone has done videos about it or something. So are you doing it? Are you doing any of this map stuff? I know a couple of people have contacted me and said they've bought the book, or they had the book and they're rereading it and stuff like that. So I know there's more of an awareness of this book than I was aware of. I thought it was just like one of these kind of very not novelty, kind of rare books that only I and a handful of people around the world know, but it seems to be obviously an awful lot more. It was a big deal at one point. So tell me your tips and tricks on map, or similar modalities or whatever, or how you find that if you're doing kind of a healing session, how you stop your mind from racing away, and without getting properly into a proper meditative thing. Because that's kind of, again, I have a brain that doesn't like to kind of waste time. So if I'm drawing it likes to have an audiobook on, so that you're getting a full the full allocation of your time has been utilized and optimized. So I don't want, if the map session is to be a map session, I don't want my brain to then go, oh, we could also be doing our meditation here as well. So I don't want to, I want to keep that separate. So anyway, advice, tips, tricks, any of those things regard maps or healing in general. Is there a better kind of system that I could be looking at? Is there kind of a self-healing thing? Maybe, some form of Reiki or energy healing or soul healing. Some people have told me a couple of things before about different modalities that I should look into, and I didn't. I don't know. Oh, I did, and I was going to do it, and then the lockdown. That's what it was. I knew there was something there. Anyway, I've gone to the rambling, babbling, idiot stage, so it's time to end. Good people of the internet, may all your healing be wonderful, and may you have never run out of books to read. May you always have too many books to read, because that's a wonderful place to be. May your best days be ahead, and be well.